All right, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, brothers that's pushing the word in sincerity and truth. I just had a few scriptures that I wanted to get into, just meditating on certain things. I had mentioned at camp, I believe on Saturday, the past, street speaking, about, I had mentioned the word bureaucracy. Now I went to look up the word bureaucracy, and I just wanted to bring bureaucracy out. Now, the word bureaucracy, it says using or connected with many complicated rules and ways of doing things, or relating to or like a bureaucracy or a bureaucrat, right? So etymology, when you break the word down, you break it down, you get, it's two words, you get bura, which is B-U-R-E-A-U, which means death, literally means death, and the Cressy, C-R-A-C-Y, which means I believe govern, or govern or rule. That's where you get the word Democrat from, demi, and then you got democracy, the Cressy, which means rule, I believe. But I wanted to bring out a few scriptures on that and talk about how wicked Esau is. Just bring out a few scriptures that come to mind through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because this devil, Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, which is the face of the state, or the face of government, or the governments of the world, is at the peak, at the top of the mountain of governments, of governing these different nations, through the IMF, the European Union, the Federal Reserve. All of these systems are put in place for him to control the whole planet Earth. You have the IMF, you have which is the International Monetary Fund. You have you have NATO, you have the EU, which NATO is a military conglomerate, or I don't even want to say conglomerate, because we have to look up the word conglomerate. Let's see what the word conglomerate means. Conglomerate. I said conglomerate. So it says a number of different things or parts that are put or grouped together to form a whole but remain distinct entities. Well, you could say that a conglomerate of nations, right? A number of different things or parts that are put or grouped together to form a whole but remain distinct entities. These different nations, a conglomerate of nations put together militarily. You have nations like Italy, nations like France, nations like Great Britain, United States of America. These are so-called different entities, but we know they're all part of the beast. We know that they're part of the beast, but they try to maintain their own individual identity, which we know with globalization that Esau is trying to push. He doesn't want borders, But at the end of the day, this devil is going down. I'm gonna read the scripture in Revelation 12 chapter, Revelations 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So this Edomite, right, through his bureaucracy, his Dutch rule, he's passing different laws to basically put the different citizens under these different governments throughout the whole planet Earth into subjection under this so-called New World Order. The next scripture I bring out that comes to mind when we talk about death's rule is Isaiah 10 chapter 1, Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them, which woe means destruction, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. You know, and they decree an unrighteous decrees. What is an unrighteous decree that they're going to decree? And we're going to continue to prophesy about it. It's the mark of the beast, man. When that mark of the beast comes out mainstream, they more than likely it's going to have to be some type of Supreme Court ruling on that. You're going to have a big debate, right? And in the Senate, in the Congress, in the executive branch, in the media, the people. You're going to have a big debate of implantable microchips being implanted in citizens, mandated. You know? So you're going to have some type of big controversy or some type of big event to trigger that. And that's what we're waiting for, man. We're waiting to see what event triggers them having to implement the mark of the beast, and what event makes them have to force the public to be mandatory or to mandate every citizen in the United States or every citizen throughout the whole planet Earth to get a mark in his right hand and forehead, mentioned in the scriptures. Let's read it. Let's go there, man. You know, because we bring the scripture out because this is one of the main prophecies, man. This right here, it mentions in the book of Revelations 2, the hour of temptation that's going to try every man on the planet Earth. That's when every man's work is going to be tested, or every man's work is going to go into judgment. Those works are going to be tried by adversity, by the fire of adversity, the fire of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But this is Revelations 13 verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, through his bureaucracy, right? Through his death rule, you know, many complicated rules, ways of doing things, because one of the way of him bringing in this new monetary system is making the people get a chip, and everything is done electronically and instantly, just like that, you know. That's why you have chip technology inside of credit cards. That's why you have tracking, RFID tracking inside of material, clothing, different electronics inside your cell phone. Because this chip technology is being perfected, and it's going to be marketed to the consumer, or to these average citizens, you know. But this is Revelations 13 and 16, and it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yeah, because you're not going to be able to participate in the economic system. You're not going to be able to get food or buy or sell or get your necessities unless you have the mark of the beast. And who's in control of that? Going back to number one, Esau, the so-called white man. Going back to that. Because he's the one that's going to mandate you through his bureaucracy, because he's in power. The scriptures say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He's going to mandate that chip, that mark of the beast, through his bureaucracy, you know, through his legislation, through his unrighteous decrees, through his wicked decrees, you know. And that time is coming, man. Like I mentioned, that's the hour of temptation. Matter of fact, let me go to the book of Matthews. Let me see if I can find it. Matthews, the 24th chapter. Give me 1 second. Matthew the 24th chapter. I was looking for the scripture where it says, "For these be the days of vengeance, where everything is written may be fulfilled." You know, because the time we're coming into. Let me just read Matthew 24 verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no nor ever shall be." It says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened." But in those times, the times of the chip or the hour of temptation, those are the days of tribulation, which that's going to be a time that has never since been a time on the face of the earth. Like we say, you've had great cataclysmic events or terrible events that have taken place on the face of the earth. I guess everybody keeps on thinking about 9/11 being a terrible event, but you've had events where thousands of people have died, millions of people have died. A great event that happened in the history, we know according to the scriptures, is the time of Noah. When Noah's Ark, Noah, the Lord only saved the 8 souls. That was a great event. But the event that's about to take place is going to be greater than even that. You know, the day of the Lord, you know. But with that, I'm going to stop right there. So we went into the word bureaucracy. We got into a few, we got into some prophecy, you know, to correspond with the word death rule. There was another scripture that I wanted to bring out too. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it real quick. It talks about they persecute a man for his word or something like that. It's in the book of Isaiah. Can't. Let me see, man. Shalakia. Give me 1 second, man. But just, you know, just while I'm looking for the scripture, just a little side note, man. When it comes to doing this work, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, I believe the elders did a video earlier. I mean, it's a privilege, it's a blessing to do this. You know, I can't find a scripture. But I'm just gonna leave out on this. It's a blessing to have this word. You know. I mean, we don't know if we are part of the elect, but like the scriptures say, put on like the elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or give diligence to make your calling an election sure. But how will we know unless we fight till the end, man? You know, to get that last breath, that sigh of relief, man, that look, we're delivered, man. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being a part of that? Can you imagine having that feeling? It's over. You know, but right now it's not over. This is the year to push. We got to keep on working. There's more work to be done. You know, and then when we get that rest, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua know how to treat his men. You know, he even treat the angels. He treats the angels. The angels are even decked out, and the finest of the finest, man. How much more so is men that overcome and fight until the end. And you know how we fight until the end? With the faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. I was just meditating on the scripture earlier. What is it? You have Proverbs 18:10. It says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. Men run into it and are safe." You know, and then I was reading Psalms 91 where it says, matter of fact, I'm going to get it. I'm just going to leave off on this note. The book of Psalms 91. Psalms 91, it says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. So, you know, it's faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shah unto death. Look, our fathers went through it. When you read in the precepts about, when you read in the scriptures about Elijah, what he went through when his life was being sought after, Paul, when his life was being sought after, Yahweh Shah, he knew that his life would be sought after, but he had to do what he had to do for men like us, men with the hope that he would come back and deliver us, man. You know, and Yahweh Shah said he was going to serve us, man, because we're his friends. And another scripture says, if ye continue in the word, ye truly indeed are my disciples. You know, you got to be willing to stand for something. So I don't want to rant too much, but I'm going to end this video here and give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers that's pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom.